So welcome to our team Zoom. I like saying we are Zooming, but we need a name for this. So if somebody wants to come up with that and is way more creative than I am, or even a little more creative than I am. So I'm really, really excited for June. Looking back at May, just so you all know, we had some of the best recruiting that we've had in a long time, and our sales are coming back up too, which is great. We've kind of had a big dip, and we're climbing back. So congratulations to everyone. We welcomed lots of new team members, and I'm excited about this June promotion. I think that's going to help even more. So I hope, has everybody checked out the promotion and you're familiar with that?
Yep.
Okay. If you are going for the level 2, 1 and 2, or 2 at any point, let's be sure to get you into Training to Brilliance. We're going to keep an ongoing conversation about that particular one, which is going for lead consultant, or if you're outside of the US and Canada, it's re-ranking at your highest rank, or lead consultant, whichever's higher. Does that make sense? Yeah. You all know how it works, right? Okay. All right. I had asked Jane if she would share something that I thought, I didn't realize that at first that it was something that I learned from her, but I learned it from her before she was ever even a consultant. I learned it from Shannon, who then I learned it, I guess, from Jane. And rather than me try to explain it all, I thought, let's go right to that much of the source, right? So if you wouldn't mind, Jane?
Yeah, who knows who I learned it from? I forgot the guy's name already. What I was talking to her about was context. It's called context switching. And I know I talked to Shannon Vreeland a little bit about this when I did some coaching with her as well. But basically what they'd found is they'd done a study of people who were focused on one project. And as soon as they added 2 projects for the person, so they had to switch back and forth between the projects, they found out that they lost 20% of their productivity time to context switching. So if you have 100% of your time on one project and you do 2 projects, you don't have 50-50, you actually have 40-40 to work on those projects. And then if you add another, you lose another 20%. And so what basically it comes down to is if someone had 5 projects, I think they were using, I can't even remember. It was like 20% of their total time was productive and 80% of their time was used in context switching. And so as far as using that with us, that's the concept, Stephanie. Do you want to run from it from there?
Why don't you share just a little bit more, like how would that fit in with our business, and what would you do? Okay.
So I was telling Stephanie, and she has the same squirrel problem too, where you just like, and I think anytime you work from home, I've actually done a couple businesses from home and not just direct sales. It's so hard to focus and not get distracted because, there's so many things around you and you don't, you can actually see some of the other things you should be doing at the same time. Like you look over at the table and go, oh, I didn't put the dishes away, And so you have to do as much as possible to get your time focused on what you're doing so that you don't waste a lot of context switching time. Even within Jamberry, you lose time context switching when you're calling someone and putting an order in and editing a photo and you're going back and forth, you lose that. So the idea would be to handle it however you want. I know Stephanie has an idea of how she handles it. I need to get me an idea going, but somewhere where you can save thoughts without actually changing your activity so that you don't lose so much time. So
good. Thank you so much. And Jane's right. What I've been using and works quite well for me when I remember to use it, I really do struggle with ADD and I am all over the place. I love the positive spin on that Jane was sharing, that people that struggle with that type of an issue a lot of times become very, very productive and very successful because our minds are always going, but my mind is always going. So I guess the way that I cope is I keep a little notebook right next to me when I'm working and when I'm just doing stuff around the house. And if I think of something that needs to be done, I jot it down. No more time focused on it at all right then. And when I'm really in the zone, I remember to turn my notifications off on Facebook before I start working. I forget I forget 95% of the time. But the 5% when I remember to turn those off, it's a huge difference. But just jot it down. And then through the day, I'm able to cross it off and I just exit out as soon as I complete that one little thing. And sometimes it is as simple as message back to Jane. Okay, back to Jane. All right, I got it on there. That's all I have to think about it. Some of these are bigger tasks that are my income generating tasks that I must accomplish that day. For instance, customer care calls, things like that. And I know I need to accomplish them, so I put it on there. And if I'm having a less productive day, it might move to the next day. But I write it down so that I don't forget. And so when I'm with my kids or with my, doing house things and running errands and things like that, if I think of something, I grab that notebook and stick it in my purse when I go out the door. I have that notebook. It's sitting in my house. For anyone, I guess none of you have been to my house. I have a teeny, 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 tiny house. So I'm never very far from my desk. So I just keep it on my desk and I jot it down. So that's my coping mechanism, I guess. I would love to hear if any of you have coping mechanisms for that type of a situation that you'd like to share. Does anyone have one that they would like to share with us before we move on?
I was going to say one thing too, and then Shannon has a comment. We always have something to say. Actually, what I was going to say is if you experience a lot of anxiety as you're doing your business, then this will help you with that. Because you're always afraid you're going to forget something, and you're always thinking, now, who was I supposed to call? Who was I supposed to send that wrap to? And so by doing this, it relieves a lot of anxiety. So if you're feeling a lot of anxiety, you need to find some method. And
anxiety that you wouldn't necessarily, maybe it's not even during a working time, but you have that weighing.
In the back of your mind.
Close the door and say, I'm done working for today. If I think of something, I'll jot it on my list. But I'm not working.
Well, and that's the thing is, as soon as you write something down, you know that you don't have to keep track of it in your brain anymore. And it's this huge load off of your mental, it's just not as mentally taxing. You have it written down, it's there. And that's just a peaceful in of itself. I have come to, in every part of my life, I just use a kitchen timer. And I have found, I've tried setting it for longer periods of time or shorter periods of time, but 15 minutes is basically I can focus on something for 15 minutes. And if I set a timer, then even if I have an interruption, I think, okay, but I'm going to do this until the timer goes off. Because then there's a set time. Otherwise, I think sometimes we think, well, if I don't do that right now, I may never get to it. But if you have a timer set, then okay, this is going to end at this time. And then I will go do those other things. So I don't know. I use my microwave timer a lot, but I actually have like a little kitchen timer that I set. You can set it on your phone too.
Mm-hmm. I have one above my desk on a magnet board it's just magnetic, so I can set it for that. Yeah. It's very helpful too if you happen to have younger children. 15 minutes is not too long to put them off for things. I mean, obviously emergencies, but simple little things that you say, you know what, we're going to go until we finish this. And they know they can count down on that timer. Don't bug mom until the timer goes up.
And they know when it's going to end too.
So good for kids. It is really, really good for them to get used to that.
And for husbands.
Of putting one.
That's true. Well, we said children already, so that's okay.
That's good. Anyone else have any coping mechanisms, I guess, for that type of a situation? Staying focused on where you need to be.
What I've done is on my goal sheet, I've changed it because obviously the kids are back at school next week. And put the hours on there that they're at school so that I can work my business.
Okay.
And then, so that'll be 9 till 3. Mm-hmm. And then I've done it from 7 till 10 on the evening because obviously I've got tea to do and that. But then obviously my husband's home, so he can sit and watch the kids while I come. Because I've turned my bedroom into, not an office because it looks like a laundry at the minute, but I come up here now to just get away from everybody, so I've got nothing that's distracting me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm gonna. I've got to put it in next week. Obviously, I can't do it this week because the children are right under my feet and God knows what else.
Yeah.
But, as of next week, from 9 o'clock, from when I've dropped them to school, come home, 9 till 3, it's work time, and then I've given myself more time on Saturdays because that's family time, if you know what I mean. Saturday, the weekend, because Dave doesn't work weekends, so I'd like to spend some time with my family and my husband. So you can't work it.
That.
Yeah, even though I'd like to, but you can't. So
that is what. That is so, so smart. When you have that schedule, it does a lot of things. One, it makes you more productive, obviously. You're going to be more productive. You're going to get things done and that. But another thing that it does is if you do happen to have a husband or a significant other that is maybe a little less than excited about your business, when they see you working it like a business and taking time off and working, dedicated time, there's a lot more respect for it. When it just feels like I'm always on my phone, they don't know whether you're playing a Facebook game or whether you're working or something else. And it feels like you're never involved with the family or at the home or whatever it is. You come home from work, you have a 9-to-5 job or something, and you come home and you're back on your phone and they feel like you never stop. But when you are working that set schedule, they show it's a lot of respect for it.
That's the whole point of me doing direct sales, to be fair, because obviously I was making cakes from home before, and I was working like from kids going to school. I was working all the way through till God knows what time in the day was the morning doing cakes, and I wasn't having any time with the family because it went from a hobby to a job that I hated because I got fed up. And sometimes if I had a wedding cake to do, I'd pull all-nighters and I wouldn't be going to bed. And so that's why I got into direct sales, because I wanted more time with the family.
Good.
So
good. I think that is fantastic. So thank you. Did anyone else have any that they would like to share before we move on to the next topic?
I have one more thing. And I was going to say, like Jane was saying, within Jamberry, you can even, consolidate your time. And so I haven't always done this, but the days I did were so helpful, where I set a day, like one day is like an errands day, and I do all my errands, and say I go to the post office that day. And I used to think, oh, I can't not mail this like today. I've got to mail everything today. I ended up not going to the post office for even longer sometimes to mail something. Then if I just said, you know what, every Tuesday and Thursday I run errands. And I'll go pick up supplies if I need or whatever, but anything that I'm going to do in my car, even for personal stuff, I'm going to go grocery shopping, I'm going to go to the bank, I'm going to go to the post office. So anything that you can consolidate that way, by even setting up, like Monday is customer support, customer service day, and Tuesday is booking day, and Wednesday is, okay, sorry.
Good.
And you know what, I have one more comment. It's totally off the subject. I just want to welcome one other person from my team here. She's on her phone, so her picture's not showing up. And her name is Hilda.
Oh,
right.
Hilda.
And so that little no face right there is Hilda. She's my wonderful friend. She's from Peru, and she lives just down the street from me. And she's super excited and is fluent in Spanish. So if anyone wants help in Spanish, she's your lady.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. All right. This is actually my notes for even though we weren't here. So I am
We're fighting about who the camera has to be on.
What was that? Oh. All right. Okay. I'm going to talk to everybody today as if you are working towards leadership. I absolutely know that not everyone in our team is working toward leadership. That's not even what you want. But hopefully the things that we talk about will still apply. If you're looking at, 200, 300, 400 PRV in a month and that sort of thing, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. The whole point of being able to be your own boss, your own CEO of your own company, is that you can run it the way that you want. But we're going to talk as if you had decided that you want to tap into that limitless income potential that is out there. And it truly, truly is limitless, that you are focused on being the CEO of your own business. So we're going to go through a few different things, and this is pretty quick. And I have to put this out there because this is who I am. This does not mean I'm perfect at all of these things. You all know that. I am a work in progress. We're all works in progress. But we do gather information from as many people as we can. And the lady that I gathered this from, seriously, I think she is nearly perfect. So I want to share these thoughts. It's got a little bit of my spin on it as well, but I hope it's helpful to you. So the first thing that I want to talk about is recruiting. Going along with our incentive for June, if you look at that third tier of the incentive, it's 900 PRV and 2 recruits. That's very, very on purpose. This wasn't just random numbers that they chose. This is the numbers that they have done as they've studied and looked at different leaders' businesses within Jamberry. This is what you would need to be maintaining on a monthly basis in order to steadily grow a strong team. Is 900 PRV and 2 recruits per month. There's going to be months that, you're higher or lower, but if that's generally where you're headed. So a lot of times we do a lot of recognition like at 1,000 PRV, so that's even better. The highest that you ever have to have as your minimum for a leadership is 700 PRV. But when you're barely scraping in at 700 and you are saying that you're going for leadership, you're not really setting the example that you need to be setting. Does that make sense? And then the 2 recruits per month, there is just a natural amount of time that people are falling off. They're deciding not to be Jamberry consultants anymore. Some people will go, build strong businesses and then they go away, and some will keep building. That's just the normal amount that you're going to need in order to continue building your team and having a nice, even, steady growth. And so that's where they're at for that 900. There's no apologies for that. It's just what it takes. So we want to make sure that we are intentional with our business. And I want you to take a minute at the very beginning of the month and evaluate your business. Look at it and see, what do I need to change in order to be a better CEO of my business? Not only CEO, but employee. So a lot of us have 9-to-5 jobs. I don't at this point. A 9-to-5 job, if you're working, but I worked in corporate America before, I would never be late. I would show up in my, dressed up. I would have my makeup on. I would have my jewelry on. I'd be on time. I would work hard. I wouldn't run out the door the second that the bell rang, 5 o'clock went out the door. I would be there and I would work hard and I would do my best. I wouldn't drop the ball. If I was assigned something, I would do it. And then I would come around to the end of the year and I might get a raise of, 3% for cost of living. And I was perfectly okay with that because that's what my job was. Well, if we are running our Jamberry businesses and we are the CEO of our business, why in the world would we not work harder for ourselves than we would for our boss who set our worth? This business, the amount of income that is available to us, there are many, 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 many leaders that are earning 6 figures, 100,000 or more in a year. And there's a few that are tapping right into that 7 figures a year as income. Why in the world would we not work this as our business and work it as hard and as dedicated as we would if we were going to the bank and running their IRA department, which is what I used to do. So be intentional. If you have run a brick and mortar store, you would not set your hours as, okay, just ding the bell when you need me and I'll run down to you. Or if you see the light on, come on in. And if you don't, then sorry. You would set specific hours and you would be there. The same thing needs to go for our business. If you can't work at 9 to 5, that's fine. If you can't work at 9 to 4, if you set your specific time, choose a place to work. If it isn't an office, I don't have an office. I have a little alcove in my living room that my desk tucks into, and that is my workspace. When I'm sitting there, I'm at work. And the funny thing is, if I'm having a bad month, I've noticed I tend to want to avoid that spot. It goes together. It's really the way it works. If your workspace is a milk crate in the corner of your bedroom with your laptop set on top of it, fantastic. Go with that. But make sure you have a place. Make sure you dress up. You don't have to, wear a formal or anything like that, but you wouldn't show up to work in yoga pants and, hair unbrushed and teeth unbrushed and that sort of thing. Dress like you're ready to be professional. That if somebody does call you and say, can you come over and help me with this, you're able to do that. Be ready to work because you do work better when you're prepared. Yay. Okay. All right. But go through and evaluate. So that's where I'm listing that I asked Jane to share. That's where it comes in for me. I have to make a list because I do. My brain is just it's all over the place. Look at your business and see where do you need to evaluate or make changes. We always do need to. And the beginning of the month's a fantastic time to do that. If this happens to be a time that your schedule is changing, in the United States, kids are getting out of school. Summertime comes, that's a whole new schedule. And, about every 3 months, there's something that's changing in your life. and you may need to reevaluate. You may need to change your business hours, but change them as hours, not just, well, I'll get it in there when I get it in there, because it doesn't happen. Okay, next thing is to be positive. Actually, no, I wanted to go with the being unique. So these are all brand values if you haven't noticed. Being unique, what is it about you that is different than other Jamberry consultants? Because really, honestly, we have this fantastic product, but there's other consultants that they can purchase from. So what is it about you that makes people want to purchase from you? Do they know you? Imagine your Instagram, because I think that's a good way to show it. If your Instagram picture is this, why does anybody even, they don't know you. Don't only put Jamberry pictures out there. Be your own self. Be personable. If you have specific interests, if you have hobbies, I hope we all do, right? Don't let those go. Be yourself. And people want to be around you. If you're super bubbly and fun and your parties are fun, make sure that your Instagram, your Facebook is super bubbly and fun and people want to be around you. If you like to share inspirational stories, if you like to, if you like to make cakes, and who is it with the VW? Somebody, who is that? Share that. I'm trying to think. Is that Kate? That's okay. Yeah. So we know those things about people. If you are into super funky, weird, kind of crazy patterns and stuff like that, make sure you show that so people know you. They want to be business with you personally. And you know what? It doesn't mean you have to be perfect, because really, honestly, perfection is intimidating. So don't worry about it. But be positive. It is perfectly okay to have strong opinions about politics, about business, about, the gorilla situation. I tried to stay away from that. Things like that. Have a strong opinion, but be very cautious about how you choose to share those opinions. Be aware, if you're, a lot of religious things, you will never, ever offend someone by not sharing your opinion, but you may be shutting down some customer situations if you are a little too strong in those opinions. Language and things like that, just be cautious. Be aware that you are always out there where people can see you. And so make sure that shows your personality, that your real personality, and you're positive in that. I will just really super quick, remember that your team members are also, in a sense, like your customers. So if you feel like your team page is a really safe place to come and complain or vent and be frustrated, your downline members, your upline members, maybe you are in this really good place that you can say these things, but you're still, everything Jamberry-wise is still fantastic, but you want to complain about something. You may have team members who are not in that place, and they can't handle that. So be careful. If you do have a concern and there's something going on that you don't think is appropriate, or you would like to see something change, contact the proper people. And sometimes that's just a message to your upline. Sometimes it is sending a message like to Jamberry. If you had a brick and mortar store and your shipping was just atrocious on half of your items, you would not stand outside in front of your brick and mortar store saying, "Come on in, I don't have any of this or this or this or this or this, but come on in." So with our Jamberry business, we focus on the good things that we have, right? Right now our shipping's awesome, so that's great. So we focus on that. If it's not, we kind of just don't say anything, because it'll get fixed. It'll be all right, all right? If you don't I have to say, when lacquers came out, I was dead set against lacquer. I could not understand why in the world this company would even consider going to nail polish. We've got these wraps and they're fabulous and this is so awesome. Oh, and the heaters. I thought that was the biggest waste in the world. A hairdryer works just fine. Why in the world would my customers ever want a heater? Why would they pay $20 for a heater? Okay, fast forward. Obviously, I love the heater, love the lacquer, love the gel. It all works, right? But honestly, I did not go tell all of my customers, "Oh my gosh, they're crazy for offering this." I just didn't focus on it. I focused on the wraps. Then I wish that I would have focused on the lacquers and the heaters a lot sooner, but that's okay. We'll just kind of let that go, right? So focus on the positives. Let's see, and be visionary. This is the last one that I want to share. Okay, do you know where you're headed with your business? So say I call all my girlfriends up and I say, let's go on a road trip. We're going to go north. We're going to have a great time. Let's go. And we go along the way and we're driving. I pick everybody up and we're just driving along and we get a flat tire and we stop and we change the flat tire. And then we keep going and we hit construction. And one of my girlfriends says, I'm just going to catch an Uber and go home. This is ridiculous, because we don't know where we're headed. But if I call my girlfriends and I say, I have a road trip planned, we are going to go to Northern Canada. We are going to stay at this place, this place, this place. We're going to see this band. We're going to go to this garden. We're going to eat at this restaurant. It's going to be amazing. Do you want to go? And this is when we're going to go, and this is where we're going to head to. Then when the flat tire happens, when the road construction happens, when everything, we turn off, instead of giving up, we turn up the radio and we have a good time. And we get frustrated. We might get a speeding ticket along the way. We might, get car sick or something like that. But we keep going. So the same thing goes with our business. Our business, my goal for our team is to be $1 million team. Well, we were really, really, really close to be selling $1 million a year. Like really close. Like $25,000 away for the year to be there. Guess what? We are nowhere near that right now. Like nowhere. Last month we sold 25,000 where we had been selling 125,000 in a year. In a month. But I'm not stopping, because the goal is to be back to that $1 million team. We're going to make it. We're going to keep going, and it's going to be just fine. And I really honestly, I've got to get rid of this notification. I really honestly think we're going to be stronger for it. We're going to be better at training people. We're going to be better at recruiting. We're going to be better at retention, because we had to figure out how to do it. It's going to be okay, because our goal is to be that $1 million team. And then honestly, once we get to the $1 million team, we're going to go for 10 million. But for now, we're going to $1 million team. And I can be discouraged and I can feel like, oh my gosh, I can't afford my groceries right now. Come on. Or I can say, I'm going to work harder here because it's worth it. Because we're going for this $1 million team, and I'm bringing you all with me, just so you know. Okay? You don't even get a choice. You're coming. All right? So do you know where your vision is? And are you headed there? And when you fall off and you have a crappy month, like my crappy month that I did not have a party last month. Okay? Not one. Not a single party. Which is why on the last day of the month, I was still $450 or 450 PRV short for my minimum. Not for where I wanted to be, for my minimum of 700. And I could have just said, forget it. You know what? It was a crazy, crazy month. And it really was. It was so busy and wild. But instead, you look at it and you say, I'm getting on the phone and I'm texting people and I'm going to get there. And I have my whole family cheering me on. And thank you all for cheering me on too, because I needed even more. And you get there. And at 11:45, when you finally scrape in that last order, you know that you can trust yourself. When you say you're going to do it, you do it. Okay, so testimonial. Woohoo! So where are you headed? Who is with me? And let's go, right? Yes? Yes? Okay, we are almost out of time. So drawing for goals. Thank you. Let's draw a winner. All right, Shannon Freeland is going to draw a winner. This is everyone who...
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, that's great.
Shannon.
Laura McDonald.
Laura.
She works for you, so she's not here. But we will make sure that she gets one.
Let's draw it again.
Go, Shannon.
Shannon.
No cheating. Stop the recording quick.
Okay. All right. We do have, let's see, we have just a couple minutes, 7 minutes left. So I'd love to hear, what's your vision? What's your plan? What's the thing you want to change? Let's just chat.
All right.
And everybody goes quiet.
I know. Okay, I want to get to senior lead consultant this month.
Okay.
I made lead consultant once. I didn't make it last month, but I really want to go to senior lead consultant this month. So my goal is to book 6 parties and to have 2 people sign up. And then Kate and I have this secret challenge with each other. And we said we have to add 5 people a week that we didn't know before, that they weren't a friend in any way, shape, or form. We're going to get 5 new contacts a week. So that can be when we go to the grocery store, it can be somebody at a hair salon if we just want to go cold turkey into a hair salon, or the waitress or whatever. But we're going to try to expand to 5 people we didn't know before each week.
Awesome. Okay, I have a goal this month because I still don't have the parties on the calendar that I want, and I am getting that jacket. It is so cute. And my workout jacket that I wear that I have to hurry and wash really fast before I can wear out in public again, I want that jacket. So my goal is actually to do 30 one-on-ones with the goal of talking to every single one about business and every single one about booking a party. So I have 3 that I'm meeting today, and I have 2 more that are deciding on dates, but I've got to work my tail off to get to the 30. But if I end up with lots of parties, that's great. If I don't, I'll probably still have enough sales. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I'm stealing both of those goals. They're great.
Go Shannon.
I'm taking a mental note here myself.
Yes. All right. Anyone else?
We're good.
No, just work your ass off, end off. It's worked really hard.
I agree. Okay. Let's see. Jane and I were talking this morning, and there was just a real quick little thing talking about the championships. Would you talk about all the details of what we were talking about? Just kind of marketing ideas.
Yeah. Just I'm kind of throwing together a marketing idea for England. Helen, tell me, what is the name of it? Is it the European Cup, or what's the soccer contest officially? Football. What is the football contest that's going to be 10th to July 10th called?
You're asking the wrong person.
Oh,
no, it's my husband that's into the football, not me.
Oh, that's okay. Well, anyway,
We'll Google it.
I think it's the Euros, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, just kind of putting together some kind of a special when something special is going on in your country. So there's a soccer. I'll post a graphic for you guys in the UK to use if you want. But there's the soccer wrap, the striker wrap. Then there's some really nice red wraps that will match your country's colors. So like putting together a bundle of buy 3, get 1 free and go, hey, anybody who wants to do this, I'll send you a free accent nail, or something like that. But we don't know what's going on in your country. Like for here, I know like, summertime and then 4th of July and back to school. So if there's something big in your country that happens, or if your country happens to get into some contest, or even if there's some kind of a crisis where people are rallying around something that you can support, look for opportunities like that and email Stephanie any events, because we don't know. Like I had no idea what Boxing Day even was. I heard of Boxing Day and I heard my youngest daughter complain about Boxing Day because Australia's ahead of us. So Boxing Day was actually Christmas Day here and she had to work because it was Boxing Day there.
Good.
And I was like, what the heck is Boxing Day?
Good. Hilda is raising her hand. So Hilda, can I come real quick before we run out of time?
Okay.
Oh, I don't hear you.
No. Hilda, can you talk? Can we hear you?
Is your sound turned off?
Maybe it's just on mute. Hey, Hilda. Oh, I see you now. Yeah, you must be on mute.
Are you on mute down at the bottom of your screen? Oh.
Yeah, now I can see your volume is on mute now.
Stephanie, you can turn it off.
There, try talking now. No, it's still not working. Huh.
Shoot. Okay, Jane, you'll check back with her.
Okay, I'll talk to her.
Sorry. Jane will check with you and let us know. I'm sorry. Darn it. Okay. Anyone else? We have just a quick. Let's see. Oh, here we are.
We have 2 minutes.
Yeah, we do have just 2 minutes, and you're not muted on my end. So darn it.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll get with her. Okay. We'll figure it out.
All right. Okay. Anyone else have any ideas or anything that you want to share?
Don't forget about the bridge, the learning bridge. Since they changed it over to that new program, there are like lots of new programs, like how to do an Instagram party, how to do a Facebook party, and also phrases that you can use on social media and stuff. That's what I really revisited because I have time to do that now. So I set time to really focus on that. So just to get you ideas if you need like a party or something or get that confidence, that's like an excellent place to go.
That is something that has worked really, really well for me in the past. And it was before Jamberry ever had this, is if you will spend 15 to 20 minutes a day just in something that boosts you, training of some sort, it keeps your mind focused and you're just, those wheels are always going, but in a positive way. So yeah, definitely. That's a good place to be.
So what, for Audra and Hilda, go to your workstation and go into Jamberry University and start going through all of the training there. There's tons and tons of it. And you can also go to YouTube, and there's a Jamberry channel on YouTube.
Good.
And then they've also done a ton of live things. Does everybody know to join that group so you can see the live posting from home office?
And they're showing up it's showing up on your workstation right away too. Which is
it? Okay,
so
good.
if you don't want to be in the group.
Yeah.
We are out of time. So thank you all. Please post your takeaways. And actually, either in Training to Brilliance or in Brilliance or on your team page, but post them in Training to Brilliance. So, and if you are going for level 2 of the incentive, make sure that you are paying attention to that Training to Brilliance post on level 2. Good luck to everybody. And if you want to be focused on leadership,